Okay, so this is launch problem number 2. I think dividing with decimals is one of the most challenging things that we do. So I wanted to make sure to really support you guys with this today because I know that you're learning this on your own. So same kind of thing. We've got our divisor and our dividend, and I labeled those pieces for you. So I'm going to set up my problem. 3/10 is my divisor, and then 3 and 66 hundredths is my dividend. So remember, my first step, I cannot have a decimal in here. So I have to multiply it by a power of 10. I only need to move the decimal one time in this problem. So scoop, right? With number 2, I need to now multiply the dividend by the same power of 10. So if I scooped once here and made this 10 times larger, then I scoop once here and make that 10 times larger. So now, this is not like the other problem. That's why I wanted to model this. Your decimal is actually sitting here. So this equation has turned into 3 divided into 36 and 6/10. We're on step 3 now. So we like to call this the elevator. So this little decimal is going to take the elevator to the rooftop party up here. Move that decimal there. And then we will see that when I get my answer, I have one digit after this decimal. And that's a really important thing to remember for later, once we have solved the problem. So once I've moved my decimal up, let me actually stop here. So in the last problem that we did, we actually multiplied that decimal out. With this problem, we multiply that decimal, but then we move it up. Okay, so this is now turned into 3 divided into 366, but we know that decimal is sitting right up here. Okay, so how many 3's can I find in 3? Well, I can find 1. 1 3 is 3. 100 3's is 300. Beautiful. So now how many 3's can I find in 6? Well, 2. 2 3's are 6. Fill a 0 there for 60. 0 there. I have 6 left over. How many 3's can I find in 6? 2. So here's the thing. The answer to this equation is 122. But remember, initially, I wasn't dividing 3 into 366. I was dividing 3 into 63 and 6/10. When I took the elevator and moved my decimal up, it allowed me to see that in my answer, I'm going to have one digit after that decimal. So then I know that my decimal is going to go right back in here. You could also choose to write it above here if that's more helpful. So you saw 2 different types of problems today in our lunch. This problem, we multiplied by 100 for this to get rid of that decimal in our divisor. And then we had to do the same thing to the dividend. That actually multiplied that decimal out. So when I was done, I didn't have really a decimal in here. It was sitting behind my number. It was a whole number. The example we just did, I multiplied by 10. I got rid of the decimal in my divisor. Remember, I cannot have a decimal there, but the decimal stayed in my dividend. So it just took the elevator to the rooftop party up here and kind of hung out until I could get my answer. And then I put that decimal back in. Please private message us today if you have any questions. Rewatch these videos. Remember these 4 steps today. Multiply the divisor by a power of 10. Then multiply the dividend by the same power of 10, move up that decimal, and then divide. And then you'll put that decimal back in at the end. Hopefully these 2 videos were helpful for you. Please reach out if you have any questions.